Along the banks of the Mississippi River, there lies a baseball team that's pretty good. The defending National League champs, right behind the Gateway Arch here at Busch Stadium. Ballpark Village across the way. Fans excited to come on in through the center field gate and see their Cardinals take on the Mets one more night. Plenty of baseball history here. 11 World Series titles. And they've got the Mets in town continuing this three-game series. It is New York Mets baseball on SNY tonight from St. Louis, Missouri. It's Busch Stadium, and it's the Mets and the Cardinals. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. Alongside my partner, Ron Darnley, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Gary Cohen has the series off. So the Cardinals took game one of the series last night, 6-2. But I think one thing that has come to fruition is the bad month that David Wright is really having. Not just bad, Ronnie, but this is the worst month he's had in his career. Where do we go from here?
Well, it's pretty interesting, to look at it from a pitcher's perspective. This is what I see from David. He's always been a guy who's commanded the strike zone, has known the strike zone, will take a walk occasionally, but now he's swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. Why? When I watch it, any kind of breaking ball from a right-handed hitter, he's giving away with that front shoulder. He's not able to control anything away. And you notice that his hit last night was off a left-hander. He still owns left-handers at over 400. But, when you are getting exploited as a hitter, good pitching staffs like the Cardinals will do it more often.
And quite honestly, with the way the Mets offense has been all year, they can't afford to have him in a slump, because when he is, they don't score runs. And that's why Bobby Abreu is in the lineup for the 7th straight game tonight. It's one thing you're playing the 40-year-old in 7 straight games. Maybe you take a hit on defense, but he's hitting.
Well, the problem is that no one's hitting in the lineup. Granderson has hit all right. Duda's hit all right. But Abreu's got to be in that lineup. He's hitting over 400 in the cleanup spot. When you think about it, in his starts this year, he's hitting 339. So, whether you like his age or not, he's one of the best hitters in the Mets lineup and taking the best at-bats.
Last night was fascinating in one way, if you like pitching and pitcher-catcher relationship. I know you do, by the way. But here's Carlos Martinez making the spot start at 22 years old. First 2 innings, he breezed through. He is a reliever. After that, struggled. And boy, it was wild to watch Yadier Molina basically will him through 4 innings last night.
We said it in last night's broadcast. Shelby Miller, one of their talented young starters, says it's easier in the big leagues, less pressure when you pitch to Yadier Molina. You know what Molina does better than any catcher in baseball? He recognizes the big outs. Yeah. The 3 or 4 outs you have to get your pitcher through that game, and he did it last night with Martinez, that big strikeout of Eric Young Jr. to end his evening.
So he caught a 22-year-old last night, and guess what? He catches a 22-year-old tonight, Michael Wacha, who will bring the gas, that's for sure.
Well, this guy is just unbelievable. Less than a calendar year passed when he left Texas A&M and then was pitching in the Cardinals rotation. He went 4-1 in the postseason last year for the Cardinals. He's the guy that started his first start this year against the Mets. His first 9 outs were via the strikeout, but he did have some control problems through 93 pitches in just 4 innings of work. But he is one of the best and brightest in the National League.
As a matter of fact, both starting pitchers tonight are crying for run support because they both don't get it. Jonathan Nice has been simply amazing. Not only this year, but the last 17 starts, he's allowed 3 runs or less.
I went through Jonathan's numbers today, and I saw all of his no decisions. There's 7 of them. His ERA in those games is 2.4. It's lower than his ERA right now. So you're talking about a hard luck pitcher on both sides, Wacha and Jonathan Nice. But the great thing about Jonathan, he has been, to me, the most consistent of Mets starters, and that has been a good thing. The problem is, though, not scoring many runs.
That's been the theme all year long. Can they finally score some from Nice tonight, looking for his 4th win? Nice and Wacha, heck of a pitching matchup on a hot night in St. Louis. First pitch is coming up next. Chrysler, visit your local dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. By Geico. By the New York State Smokers Quit Line. By State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the game is none other than Pat Cawley of Glendale, New York. Contact Pat's office at patcawley.com. And by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Visit CadillacTristate.com. Search local offers and find a local dealer near you. Citi Field, Saturday, July 5th. That's the place to be. Mets take it on the Rangers at 7:15. First 20,000 fans getting the Mets floppy hats, courtesy of Citi. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Well, we do it every night at this point of the game. Time for tonight's AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight in the game. Notice we've had an affinity towards babies lately. I wonder if that trend continues or if there's something else there.
I think our crew needs an Instagram account because I know that we could certainly get some pictures that would be appropriate.
I don't know if any would actually be appropriate for air, but we could try it. Drive Around the Majors brought to you by Honda. Bronson Arroyo, Ironman, on the DL for the first time in his long career. Matt Wieters, big blow for the Orioles. Their star catcher out for the year with Tommy John surgery. Robbie Cano, have you seen the year he's having? The power is starting to come. He's also hitting at a ridiculous clip, and he had a home run today as the Mariners swept the Padres. Mariners are right in the thick in that AL West. Jonathan Neese is warming up, getting set to go. It's a hot night in St. Louis. Michael Wacha, the flamethrower, will go for the Birds tonight. Mets, Cardinals coming up. Lottery by StubHub. Earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase on StubHub, including Mets tickets. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more. And by Hyundai. Hyundai leaves the rest wanting. Find out why by visiting buyhyundai.com today. Cool shots over St. Louis. Hey, you can celebrate our nation's independence at Citi Field Friday, July 4th with a post-game fireworks show presented by Citi following the Mets game against the Rangers at 7:10. For tickets, visit Mets.com/fireworks. Tonight's Twisted But True Fact brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea. There it is. Waiting anxiously. Stan Musial had 3,630 hits in his career, 1,815 at home, 1,815 on the road. He also was never ejected in all of those Major League Baseball games. Stan the man. Let's take a look. What a great player. Class act here in St. Louis. And, you know, here in this place where they cherish their history. You look at the old video of Musial. Just saw Lou Brock on the field throwing out the first pitch.
Never got ejected. So Stan, the gentle man. I mean, just amazing. There's Yola's quote with a fountain pen.
He probably could have hit 300 with a fountain pen, by the way. All Musial represents. Yeah, Bob Costas had it right. So Michael Wacha getting set to start this game against Jonathan Neese tonight. It is hot. Temperatures have been in the 90s today, so it'll certainly be a lot different weather-wise than the last time these two guys faced off against each other, which we'll get to in a moment. First, the lineup that Wacha will face for the Mets, brought to you by Geico. You see that pitcher batting eighth again, second time in a row, second time in franchise history. So Eric Young batting ninth one more time, and for the third straight game, Granderson on the leadoff spot. But, you know, tonight here it is hot. It's muggy. It's typical summer in St. Louis, right? Well, last time in April when they met at Citi Field, it was tornado-like conditions.
Well, the wind was blowing, upwards of 40, 45 miles per hour. Two things. One of the reasons why Wacha had real control issues, I said he had 93 pitches in 4 innings. But probably one of the reasons the Mets hitters also, first 9 outs were strikeouts against Michael. You know, we're talking about a young man that almost less than a year from getting out of Texas A&M. He's pitching in the postseason. He gives up 1 run and 8 hits in his first 21 innings. He beats Clayton Kershaw twice and wins the National League Championship Series MVP. That's quite a start.
He rose to stardom in that postseason, and the Cardinals rode him all the way until Game 6 when he finally stubbed his toe against the Red Sox. But he was flat out dominating. So much so that Shelby Miller, who had a great year last year, was relegated to the bullpen and never came out.
He's 6'6" tall. He throws right over the top. So his angle of delivery is what's the deception to go along with his 95-mile-an-hour plus. He's got a parachute change that's probably his best breaking pitch, and he'll throw his curveball, 15% of the time. But it's really his fastball changeup is his pitching. And you see the Coors Light defense behind him. Holiday, Peter Borges starts in center field with John Jay moving over to right. Descalso for Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Craig. I don't think it's Colton Wong. In fact, I think it's Mark Ellis playing second base in tonight's game, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. I know when the Hawaiian's in there, so Colton's not in there. Mark Ellis, the great veteran, but a good guy to have in your ball club, gets to start against the left-handed Neese.
You could feel it in your blood, right? And Mets look to get back and even in this series. This Mets team, Ronnie, things look so much different just 2 weeks ago. I mean, think about it, right? They had that forever long series in Philadelphia, the back-to-back 5.5-hour games, and then they concluded on Monday night with a rip-roaring effort by their offense. And when it was all said and done, they left Philadelphia winning 4 of 5 and only a game below 500. Since then, it's been a disaster at 3-10.
And I think mostly it's been the offense. We talked about it. We touched on it with David Wright. He struggled. Think about it this way. Granderson's hitting. He was out for a couple days. He's hitting better than he has all year. Lucas Duda hitting better than he has all year. Murphy's as I don't know, consistent as he always is. And still, the Mets are struggling to score runs. Now, we get the stats every day. It says that the Mets are #1 on the road for scoring runs. But it seems like if they have a big day, it's a huge day, and there's a lot of want in between.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Honestly, that is the most baffling stat in the world, because when you watch this team every day, you don't know how that adds up. And their road dominance, not dominance, their good play on the road, which occurred last year and did the first part of this year, is going away slowly. So now 15-19 on the road, and we're ready to go. So Curtis Granderson leading off for the third straight day against Wacha, and he takes strike one to start it off here in St. Louis. Granderson has had back-to-back leadoff spots, back-to-back games with an RBI, as he cuts on a miss there, as take something off to Waka. You know, he's in a pretty good groove, Granderson. As a matter of fact, he hasn't struck out in his last 17 plate appearances. For him, that's a really long time. 0-2 here, and that's the end of that streak. One batter, one out.
Hey, I'm impressed you got it out, Kevin, before it happened. Well, Walker just has so many gifts when he gets ahead of you. That fastball up in the strike zone. Too much for Curtis.
Oh, let's not forget, Ronnie, you pointed out the other time Waka faced the Mets this year. We told you about the weather, but he struck out the first 9. 3 innings, all 9 Mets down on strike. Struck out 10 in that outing. Then he got wild with the win, walked 5, and came out after 4 innings, suffered the loss in that game. Daniel Murphy. He's faced the Mets twice. He faced them once last year, too, late in the year, and got a win. Pitched well in that game. Curveball didn't happen there. Sorry, Ron.
No, that's the curveball that you'll see once in a while from Walker. Respect paid to Murphy already.
Murphy, 85 hits. That's good for second in the National League, and preventing number 86 with a great play at first is Alan Craig. He got robbed by Matt Adams last night in almost a similar play.
Well, have you noticed that the Cardinal defense at third and first play the Mets hitters right on the line? That is a ball that should be a double or triple almost all of the time. But Craig, playing 2 steps away, takes that away from Daniel Murphy. Interesting defensive alignment against the Murph.
It's a great call because it was really the same exact thing last night, and Adams made the same play. Now here's Wright. We open up the show telling you about his struggles. Now look, he's going to go through some slumps, everyone has, but this is broken bat, and that one got Waka, I think, as he tried to hop out of the way. Wright is retired. I think Waka, I think he's okay. The bottom line is it's a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Waka. Bat sawed in half, so the Mets. Cardinals coming to bat against Nice next. A lot of changes from last night, primarily to get the left-handers out of there against Jonathan Nice. So Borges starts in center field. John Jay had a wonderful night last night, scored 3 runs, was all over the place, and he's batting second for the second straight evening. So here's Nice to start it off against Peter Borges, the former Angel.
Let's see Jonathan's numbers this season, Caesar's numbers. The best numbers are 17 straight starts, 3 earned runs or less, and his ERA in his no decision games is 2.4. So that 4-4 record certainly should be much different, or 3-3. Yes.
You wonder, just by watching the games, Nice has made 13 starts. How in the world he only has 3 wins the way he's pitched?
Yeah, sometimes you have the wrong day. Going up here against Borges, very interesting. 10 of his 29 hits are for extra bases. He's more of a singles hitter. but probably one of the 5 fastest guys in all of baseball. Can fly.
It's also tough to walk. He's struck out 43 times. He's only walked 5 times in 209 at bats here. The third, right with a nifty backhand in time. Nice play on D to start it off for Wright for the first out.
Well, David Wright off the line about 4 or 5 steps, and this is a beautiful backhand. See how he starts with the glove low, comes up with the hop. Start with that glove down and then lift up as you make that play and the strike for first base. Nicely done.
Now it's John Jay, who had just a wonderful night. 2 for 3, 3 runs, a double. He's really been red hot for Mike Matheny's bunch. First pitch swinging right back up the middle for a base hit.
Defensively behind Jonathan Neese this evening, the Lexus defense. Eric Young, Granderson, Bobby Abreu in there again. And this is the infield defense you see most of the time for the Mets. Tejada in there at short. Anthony Recker getting the catching duties this evening.
Matt Holliday now with John Jay off of first. Holliday broke out of a slump last night. 2 for 4. Runs scored and an RBI, his 1,000th of his career. John Jay's got good speed, but hasn't really stolen bases this year. Just 2 of 3. Holliday jacks one deep center, but Granderson's got room, and he puts it away for the second out.
A lot of aggressive hitting on both sides so far in this game. Holliday, who's got some good numbers against Jonathan Neese, just missed that pitch.
Now it's Alan Craig's turn. Cardinals had 5 players last night with at least 2 hits, so they got contributions all up and down the lineup, and Alan Craig probably had the biggest night. 3 for 4, a couple of RBIs and a double, as he's had a good June. Matter of fact, Alan Craig now has a 5-game hitting streak going, 9 of his last 20. He starts him off with a strike. Not a huge lead for Jay. Duda holds him on. Left side for Tejada on the backhand over to Murphy. Inning over. So good first inning for both pitchers. Cardinals have the Jay single. They leave him on. Through 1 in St. Louis. We're scoreless. in the back.
That's like a Segway tour, right?
Yeah, take the tour probably around the city.
Let me ask you a question. There's some people that are on those Segways do not belong on the Segway. It's dangerous. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, it could get dicey. You get into an intersection and there's trouble. Here's Bobby Abreu, starting for the 7th straight game, but he is hitting. He's at 300, as you see on your screen, and Terry Collins is doing anything for offense. So much so that he said today he deliberated over making the lineup for what he said normally should take 5 minutes. Took him 75 minutes today. 75. Then he said he finally got up and worked out. That'll tell you, trying to figure out how to get some offense, and you're at the point where you don't know what buttons to push right now.
I think what happens also, Kevin, when you have a player like Abreu, there's going to be communication between Terry Collins and Bobby about, am I pushing you too far? Can you go out there again tonight? And the answers have certainly been yes from Bobby.
He's been great as a starter, continuing to take good at bats. In fact, in his 18 starts, he's a .339 hitter. 2-2. Right side for Ellis. Nice little spin, and there's one out. You can follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. How much more you can actually offer. That's a lot. Here's the shift on Duda.
I was just going to say, a heck of a time to maybe push that bunt over there. Walker's a tough mark. Start out with a base hit.
2 weeks ago, Duda told me it's something that he's been practicing. He dropped one down in Philadelphia, got a base hit there, and Bob Guerin said he's been urging him to get in the habit of doing, not that you're going to do it all the time, but in this type scenario, start a rally.
You could easily get 8 to 10 base hits a year extra. I mean, why not take them?
0-2. 95 outside from Waka. 1-2 to Lucas Duda. Interesting point you made in the open, how here are the Mets, right? Duda's having a real good month. He's got 8 doubles. And he does go the other way here, and he pops one into left for a base hit. Duda takes a big turn, going to go on down to second base, and he's got a double. The 9th double in the month for Lucas Duda. That's tied for the most in the league.
We talked about this with Matt Adams, the Cardinals first baseman, yesterday, hitting against the shift, and we've seen that Lucas has done a much better job. Now, he's not hitting that ball in the ball in the barrel, but he's still going the other way. That's a tough pitch, a pitcher's pitch, that he's able to hit off the end of the bat and get himself a double. Nice hitting.
Same time, if you're Waka, does that change at all with this shift? For anybody, not just Waka, but Waka right now, does that change at all how you're pitching?
It would take my fastball away from me. I would pitch Lucas in more, up and in more than the pitch away.
Takes that one away for a double. Now it's Anthony Brecker getting the start behind the plate tonight. Brecker's average has dipped under 200, 198 on the year, 8 RBIs. So the Mets trying to take the early lead here in St. Louis against Michael Wacha. One and one to Anthony Brecker. There's a breaking ball that misses. So it's 2-1 to Brecker. The questions continue to come for Travis d'Arnaud. As he continues to hit in AAA. Terry Collins again today asked about d'Arnaud and when is he going to come up. And how soon will you keep him down there with the way he's hitting? And he kind of put the brakes on it a little bit. Another curveball. It's a good one. Now the curveball coming out for Walker. But he said, look, there is a difference in leagues. There is a difference in some of the stadiums they play there. I'm not trying to take anything away from Travis. But here's the neat part about this. He said, he has sent someone, I wouldn't say if it was a scout or someone in the organization, but he said he sent someone who's been watching Major League ball. And the count goes full, the record, down to watch d'Arnaud. So he's not relying on any scout who's been in AAA. He's relying on someone who's, as he said it, not as familiar with d'Arnaud, but can tell him if his swings are Major League ready.
Yeah, put some new eyes on d'Arnaud and give him a different kind of report. Everyone down there, of course, has worked with Travis, know Travis, and the results that he's had. They've been excellent. But maybe a Major League scout to see if his hands or his swing is up to snuff for the Major Leagues.
Another curveball, so a lot of curveballs to record in that at bat, but that one upstairs and the walk, and now the Mets with first and second and one out.
That's Yadier Molina has got his fingerprints all over that pitch. To throw that breaking ball to Recker, he knows he had the base open. He's identified that Ruben Tejada is going to be the guy that's going to hurt the Cardinals if he's going to go after a hitter. He knows Recker's got some power.
So it's Tejada with two on, and big swing and a miss on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm curious, Ron.
Yeah.
You look at Tejada, and then you look at the pitcher batting eighth again tonight with Nice. Does that impact that at bat at all?
Absolutely. What you're thinking about if you're Molina is that if you get through Tejada, now if he doesn't into a double play, then really all you have to do is get one out in this inning. You get Tejada out, and then you're going to certainly get the pitcher out. Now, that doesn't always happen. Pitcher might get a hit, Tejada might get a hit. But it certainly impacts Molina's thinking that, okay, I've got one of the best young pitchers in baseball. If he gets through Tejada, we face the pitcher. That gets us out of the inning.
0-1 pitch. And there's a strike, and Tejada quickly in the 0-2 hole.
Pretty good catcher right there, Mike Matheny. He was out of that mold, and Molina also. One of the best behind the plate in calling a game and running a game.
Waka's got Tejada 0-2 and make it 0-3. Three fastballs blew it right by Tejada. Second strikeout for Waka.
They turned it up a notch, didn't he? Both pitches on the corner, and that one added just a little bit to get it past Tejada.
And now, Ronnie, as you said, two outs, and here comes the pitcher batting eighth. So maybe this the first time that the pitcher batting eighth in the two games has an impactful spot. Yeah. Yesterday, DeGrom came up with the bases loaded, had a pretty good at bat, hit a line drive to second. Big cut for Nice, and he's behind it a little bit. 0-1. Nice has one hit in 21 at bats so far on the year.
150 or so hitter in his career. Jonathan's definitely dangerous. If you're pitching against a pitcher like Jonathan, Kevin, you say to yourself, he's a pretty good hitter. So I'm going to have to, throw quality stuff. There's other guys that come up, you go, well, this should take about 2 or 3 pitches.
Quickly 0-2. Waka just missed that corner. Fastball hit 96. Easy play for Walker, and he gets out of the jam beautifully. So the Mets waste the one-out double by Lucas Duda. They leave 2 on. 1.5 played in St. Louis. We're scoreless. Did it work batting the pitcher eighth all those years for Tony La Russa? He seems to think there was something to it, but the stats say not really.
Interesting. I think for our folks at home, we said it last night, but one of the reasons that Tony La Russa batted the pitcher eighth is because he wanted another hitter before in the ninth hole before, of course, their great RBI guy all those years, Albert Pujols.
Yadier Molina, that is, leads it off in the home second inning. No score, Mets and Cardinals. Cardinals added John Jay Single in the first, but Nice worked out of that without a problem, and he starts off Molina with a strike.
Molina's only 1 for 10 in this homestand. I watched him during batting practice. He was trying to hit everything right through the cage.
Well, that one is hit plenty. Deep to left field. This one's got a chance, and it is gone. That's a home run for Yadier Molina. Number 6 on the year, and it's 1-0 St. Louis.
So I was saying that Molina in batting practice was working, just trying to hit every pitch into the netting for the batting practice pitcher. Just trying to work the ball up the middle. His first swing of the night, hits it out of the ballpark. Practice perfect sometimes yields perfect results.
For a team that has not hit home runs at all this year. First home run of this series so far for either club, and that's 1-0 St. Louis with Peralta the batter, who leads the team with 10 home runs.
Peralta's 6 home runs in April with this storied franchise, were the most by a shortstop in April in the history of the Cardinals.
That's hard to digest.
Right.
1-1, and it's outside. Curious how Nice goes about this game today. Last start against Milwaukee, he threw 19% of his pitches for changeups, which is unheard of for him. I mean, it's his 4th pitch. Give you an idea, season average is below 7%. And it's 3-1 to Peralta. I asked Terry Collins about it today, and he said that was by design, team game plan, because Milwaukee is so aggressive. But you look at that, Ronnie, and how do you decipher that? The fact that he threw that many changeups kind of out of his comfort zone and still went out and dominated a game.
Well, I think that, when we looked at that Milwaukee team, what graphics do we show all the time that a lot of their hitters swing at the first pitch over 50% of the time? So, Jonathan now, at this point in his career, he's starting to elevate his game where he can match not only his stuff, but also match it to the game plan against a certain team.
This is for Abreu. Doesn't have to go very far, and that's the first out.
I was telling you before the game, if I was facing a predominantly left-handed lineup, I knew that the Pittsburgh Pirates were coming in with Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, and others. I would spend that time in between starts working on the fastball into lefties because I knew it was going to be the most important pitch, and I had to have control of it. And when I went in the bullpen in between starts, I would throw 20 in a row. Once I would get 20 in a row for strikes, I would quit the bullpen session because then I knew I had that pitch ready for the Pirates in 3 days.
And you could take it into the game, and that's what Nice has done. It's really, his evolution is interesting. He came up and he was a curveball guy, right? And then he went to Buffalo and learned that cutter. And then that kind of took over, and he forgot about the curveball in some ways. Ellis and Tejada, nice running play. Throw is perfect. Good play from Ruben Tejada for out number 2.
Great range by Ruben, and we don't see him do this very often. Usually when he makes a play, he kind of gathers himself and throws. But that was beautiful in the way that not only fielded it, but almost in one motion got rid of that baseball and right on the mark.
Daniel Descalso now with 2 down for the Cardinals. But to finish the thought on Nice, so he went curveball, then cutter, then kind of used both. But now he's got those. He's got a 2-seamer. He's got the changeup, which he uses more and more effectively. He's development. I don't know if is it fair to say it's complete?
Yeah, I think, Jonathan right now, and it shows in the numbers. You can't see it in the wins because of the lack of run support, but we're seeing it in the numbers. 17 straight games, 3 earned runs or less. So he's as consistent as any Mets starter. So right now is what you're going to see Neese. I mean, this is as good as he's going to pitch in the major leagues, and he's right on top of his game. Now, they're going to score him some runs so he can reflect that in his one-loss total.
He was getting on himself pretty good for not keeping that pitch down to Daniel Descalso, who's got the 2-out single. Now it's the pitcher Michael Wacha, and that's the other part of it too. It's the aggressiveness that you've seen from him. I don't want to say that he was ever satisfied with anything else, but you've seen it on the mound where you never saw it on camera before. He is mad when he comes out of a game. He doesn't want to come out of games anymore.
He's competing better now than he ever has.
Yeah.
You're right. What? His body language early in his career, was definitely lacking at times. It's not now. If he has any body language, it's going to be just frustration from not being better.
He is 27 years old. He's having the best year he's ever had. And it's not just this year. It goes back when he came back from that rotator cuff injury last year. It hasn't stopped. Here behind the pitcher, Michael Wacha, though, it's 2-1 with 2 down. 2-2.
Wacha has not done too much hitting. That would be the only thing you could criticize him for. Borges on deck, 4 for 43 in his career. It's interesting when Jonathan, when he pitches against right-handed hitters, he loves to throw that fastball and cut her in. But sometimes it's not the best place to pitch pitchers because they bail. So that ball hit us more like the middle of the plate.
2-2. Little tapper, and Neese over there without a problem to retire Wacha. The inning is over. However, the Cardinals get on the board here in the second inning. A leadoff home run from that man, Yadier Molina, number 6 on the year. We're going to the third in St. Louis. Cardinals now up 1-0. Tri-State Audi dealers in the all-new Audi A3 as we head to the third in St. Louis. 1-0 Cardinals on the strength of Yadier Molina's first ever regular season home run against the Mets. Gary Cohen has the series off, but Garris sending me a text saying the first regular season home run, 215 at bats. Fortunately, it's not the first home run ever. You know about that against Aaron Heilman.
Yeah, that was a
06.
2-run home run that gave the Cardinals a 3-1 lead in the series.
But hi, Gary. Thanks for the text.
Nice.
Glad to know you're doing well. And we'll see you in Miami. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Ron Darling with me, by the way, in case you're wondering. Keith is probably sunning himself in Miami, awaiting the Mets to get there as we speak. And Eric Young Jr. in the 9-hole for the second straight day will lead things off. Young coming back from the hamstring injury yesterday, went 1 for 4, got credit on an infield single on an also a play that Peralta made an error. He did have an outfield assist, his 5th of the year. He threw out Alan Craig at the plate.
You notice the hitters the first time through the lineup. You see a lot of foul balls like Eric Young just hit at the Mets dugout. Right-handed hitters at the Cardinals dugout. Everyone that I've talked to says it's really hard to pick up Walker's fastball, but it kind of jumps on you like that one there. That fastball up is a pitch you can sometimes lay off of, but on Walker it just surprises you.
Curtis Granderson has really gotten better as the year's gone on. Now, granted, you couldn't have gotten worse from the April that he had, but as we check the lows, never stop improving. Look at Granderson here. He really, since the beginning of May, has been a different player. And here in June, coming into tonight, batting .357.
He's got great sense of self, great confidence. When you saw him in April, and I know you had to talk to him a lot, Kevin, his confidence never wavered. He said, listen, I've gotten up to a slow start. I will hit the ball at the ballpark. It's going to happen.
0-2 here. Tapper down to Craig. On to Waka for the second out. Two down, bases empty. Daniel Murphy will be the hitter. Murphy had 1 hit in 3 trips last night. He grounded out to first. A great play by Alan Craig guarding the line. His first at bat here. According to Elias, Murphy has a .475 career batting average here at Busch Stadium. 4 doubles, a homer, 7 RBIs in 11 games. And he started 10 games here. He's had a hit each of those starts. So he likes it here.
I think he does well at the National League Central, all the ballparks. He does well in Chicago also.
Yeah, he does. The other way, right to Holiday, and an easy inning for Waka in the 3rd. He mows down the Mets in order. Bottom of the 3rd we go. 1-0 St. Louis. Post-game coverage. Tomorrow's Mets-Cardinals finale here in St. Louis. Insider info and exclusive interviews on Daily News Live presented by Citi. Tomorrow at 5, only on SNY. Insiders may be on the plane to Miami, but you get the idea. Someone will be talking about the game. Jonas and the crew.
Borges has 3 bunt base hits so far this year, so you always have to be alert for that.
Swinging first pitch right to Abreu. 1 pitch, 1 away for Nice. We talked about this Cardinals lineup, how really a lot of changes from last night. I mean, their bench is loaded tonight. Carpenter, Adams, 2 of their big cogs. Wong's on the bench. The reason being is because they're not good against left-handed starters. They're 7-10 facing a left-handed starter this year. That's actually 3rd worst in the National League. Crazy thing, Ron, about that is the guy who's up now, John Jay, tears lefties apart. Coming into this game, he was hitting .407 against lefties. That's the best mark for a left-handed hitter against a lefty in the league.
Shumban's just a good player. He's a base hit in the first inning, just up the middle. Doesn't try to do too much.
Braves drifting back deep enough, but Park will hold it, and there's 2 now.
I would call this stadium very, very fair. We were showing that number about Murphy. I think one of the reasons he hit so well here. This ballpark is made for gap hitters. You really have to have some serious power to get it out of here. Not as big as Citi Field, but close.
That'll bring up Holiday. 375 in the gaps to right and left center. Take a look at the bullpens. Cardinals troubles against left-handers isn't just this year either. Since the beginning of last year, the team batting average against lefties is .235. Only Seattle is worse in all the major leagues. So it's been one struggle for them, and here Nice has a very solid inning. Murphy's going to call it, make the catch, and the Cardinals are down without a whimper in the 3rd. A nice little pitcher's duel going on. Yadier Molina's home run, the only run in this one. To the 4th we go. 1-0 Cardinals. Little show out in left center field for Ballpark Village. Haven't seen any firefighters scurry out of there, so I'm guessing it's just for show. Meanwhile, in the 4th, both pitchers on track. Jonathan Nice had a 5-pitch inning there. And David Wright will lead it off for the Mets, down 1-0 to the Cardinals. Fastball upstairs, and 2-0 to Wright. Curveball, and Wright offers at it. Molina, Craig giving chase, going to go into the camera well. Told you this was the worst average, or the worst month that David Wright has had in his career.
Well, I was trying to explain it in the our opening. I did a poor job of it, but what I'm watching with David from a pitcher's perspective is that any breaking ball from a right-hander that starts at him, he's flinching just enough. So what is happening is that pitch that's at him is an automatic strike because he has to take it because of the flinch, and now he's not able to control or cover the ball that's down and away.
Right to left field and deep. Holiday going back. This one is gone. The first home run on the road all year for David Wright, and it ties this game at 1.
And just as I'm speaking, he's able to cover it. When you look at the way that Walker went after him with the pitch sequence, first fastball up, 2-0, and gets the curveball that he fouls back. The fastball right on the corner, and then he hangs the curve. That is so good to see. That is the pitch I was talking about that he's been flinching at, and no flinch there. So maybe he solved the little problem that he had.
That has got to feel so good for Wright, who was just having a putrid June, just 6 hits the entire month coming in. But the home run, he's got a nice defensive play tonight. And as a matter of fact, Elias tells us that coming into the game, Wright had the most at-bats on the road, 146, among anybody in the majors without having a home run. I mean, that's hard to believe. Overall, by the way, just his 5th home run of the year. But the bottom line is this game is tied.
You know, when we were at home at Citi Field, I was talking with David, and we were having kind of a chuckle. He's saying, boy, I'm going through one of those periods where I don't even know where to hold the bat, by the handle or on the other end. I mean, that's how clueless you can get at times, pitching or hitting.
Rayu, Holiday makes the play for the first out. Well, look at it this way. You can look at all the numbers that we showed you. You can look at Wright coming in today at 6 hits in the month of June. Why don't you look at the fact that he's 2 for his last 3?
Yeah.
Good single last night in his last at bat, and now the home run.
Well, and the other thing is, and Terry Collins has said it, and it really makes a lot of sense. He's got a baseball card filled with 300. That's what he hits at the end of the year most of the time. So at some point, he's gone through this slump. You got to think that at some point he's going to hit 300 like he always does.
Curveball to Duda is low. Duda's got a double in his only trip to the plate tonight. 16 doubles on the year for Duda, and now 6 doubles in the last 5 games. By the way, another impressive thing is Waka hadn't allowed a home run in 36 innings. Both Waka and Neese don't allow home runs at all. Of course, saying that they both allowed a solo shot tonight.
Solo shots don't kill you. It's the 3-run home run.
3-1 to Lucas Duda now.
Well, Lucas got that fastball and hit it off the end of the bat for that double. Let's see what Walker decides to throw him on a 3-1 count. Will he choose inside fastball or fastball away?
Duda gets jammed here. Craig easing over. That was up there forever, and he makes the catch for the second out. If you like fastballs, you'll probably see a lot of them in the finale of this series tomorrow. It's on at 1:45 Eastern time. Bartolo Colon's been magnificent of late. Takes on Lance Lynn, coming off his best outing of the year. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ron, but Terry Collins said Bartolo Colon will not bat eighth tomorrow.
There's Lance Lynn having a good season again.
8 shutout against the Nationals on Friday night. Rosenthal finished it off. 2 down for the catcher Anthony Record. Waka delivers low. Record walked his first time up. Waka likes to work quick too. He's got that rhythm.
Both he and Jonathan Neese both work very quickly.
Strike. 2-2. And he got him. Fastball. Record fans down on strikes he goes. 4th strikeout for Michael Waka. But the Mets tie it. David Wright, his first road home run of the year. And so we're tied in St. Louis at 1. Monument in the U.S. 630 feet. There's a lot of barbecue eating here. I'll tell you that. Chuck Berry, Tina Turner, Miles Davis, and the Doobie Brothers all call St. Louis home. That's a good musical group.
And the hot dog invented here.
That I didn't know.
Well, if it was going to be invented anyway, it's such a staple of a ballpark. St. Louis is the right
That
place.
does make sense. The old tube steak. Alan Cray rifles one to center. Granderson has the sinking liner for the first out. Remember when went up in that arch 7 years ago, and they show you the coolest part about it wasn't going for me, wasn't going to the top. They show you a film on how they built it, and it's fascinating. I don't remember the number, but the bottom line is they built it from each side, and they had to meet on
the
top.
middle.
And I think the margin for error, this is considering how high you're going, the wind, all of that. I don't know. It was something crazy, like a quarter of an inch or something like that. And if they were off, they essentially would build an arch that was useless. Pretty impressive, don't you think?
Yes, it is. This is just a great town. I mean, people couldn't be nicer. The ballpark is filled. almost. Tomorrow's game is 12:45 here. It'll be filled. People in our booth couldn't be any kinder. Nancy, Ross, and the gang. You got homemade cookies. You got rolls. You got cake, pie.
Nancy is our stage manager. She has a couple goals. She's doing a fantastic job, but she also wants us to be 400 pounds by the time we leave. She made gluten-free cookies. She made banana bread muffins. She did this whole spread, which is delicious.
I'm going for the apple pie here at some point.
Yeah. The bottom line is, the barbecue capital of the world, banana bread, cookies.
Well, we're not at home, but they make you feel at home.
Yes, very much so. Meanwhile, Nice is continuing to motor on. As we're in the fourth with one out, he's got 37 pitches and a 2-2 count to Molina. Down he goes. Jonathan Nice gets his first strikeout of the night, and there's two away.
Well, fastball away. I think this is what is starting to separate Jonathan from maybe some of his earlier campaigns, is that he is starting to use that outside part of the plate. Remember, he got, as you were saying, Kevin, very in love with that cutter and really spent most of his time against right-handed hitters in the middle of the plate in. Now he occasionally uses that outside part of the plate, and it's really made him much better.
2 outs, nobody on for Peralta. And there's a curveball for a strike. Well, if you're wondering why the Cardinals went out and spent $53 million on Johnny Peralta despite the PED suspension, maybe the fact that they've had 8 different shortstops the last 8 years, and they were looking for a little stability. And his average isn't where he wanted to be, but for the most part, he's provided that. Really, he's hit for power. He's been okay in the field.
Last couple of seasons, it's been Peter Cosma that's played shortstop, fine defensive player. But I think Mike Matheny and the Cardinals wanted a little more offense out of their infielders.
Cosma for Cal, Terrio, Brennan Ryan, Khalil Green, Cesar Torres, David Eckstein. Wow. Mike Matheny looking on. 2-2.
I asked Mike Matheny, Kevin, the biggest influence as a manager, expecting him to say Tony La Russa. Said Felipe Alou. Said when he was in San Francisco, Felipe let him call the game, run the game, make the call to throw to first base. He said he started managing that day.
Very interesting. And Nice loses Peralta. You see, he's upset with himself there. And so a 2-out walk. That's his first. That's the other thing he hasn't done. We're talking about all these things that Nice has done, Ron. I mean, he's never really walked a lot of guys anyway. But this year, his walk rate's the lowest it's ever been. It's at 2.3 per 9 innings.
That's both Carpenter and Joe Kelly. That's the equivalent of a golfer's clap right there. They'd have some fun on that bench, I'll tell you.
They like to have a little fun. This little cue shot right to Tejada, and Jonathan Nice is cruising on. So Ellis is retired, right to Tejada. Walk, man left, no runs coming home. We go bottom 4, and we're tied at 1. a Cy Young Award?
Wow.
That's a really good question.
Well, I mean, first you start off with the newer franchises, right? If you guys are at home. But that's very interesting. Well, I know it's not here.
It's definitely not here. You got to think. Let's see.
They can eliminate these two teams.
All right, going through the list. Ruben Tejada leads it off against Michael Wacha. Here in the 5th inning, it's been well pitched, 5 hits combined. The scoring on solo home runs. Yadier Molina's got one for the Cardinals. David Wright has one for the Mets. And Tejada hangs up there for Holiday, and there's one down. So Masahiro Tanaka is this fellow the Yankees signed in the offseason. Gave him a lot of money. He flew on a jumbo jet with a kitty cat on the way over here. And, you know, there's quite the amount of fanfare for him. He is having a year of years.
Yeah.
Against Toronto tonight, he lets up a solo home run to Jose Reyes to lead off the game. Right now, Yankees lead 3-1, bottom 5. His line, 5 innings, 4 hits, just that 1 run, 10 strikeouts. 10.
You know, the bigger thing I find interesting about all this, Kevin, is that the split finger fastball has been taken away from most of the young pitchers in every organization for fear of injury. So it's a pitch that none of these hitters have faced in a long time. And he brings that weapon over here. And he's also got the great fastball and a nice slider. But he's bringing a pitch that none of these hitters have seen in such a long time. So 2 things. One, he's got the greatest weapon anyone could have and the most unique weapon. And 2, it's going to be interesting to see guys who start talking to Tanaka, find out from different people, and start throwing the pitch because they want the same results.
Yeah. 5th strikeout for Wacha as Nice is down on strikes. I mean, he also think of the fact this fastball a little high, but Nice going down. You know, you think about the fact that going back the last 2 years, Japan and here, he's now 25-1. I mean, you know, that's not easy to do. He's going to start the All-Star game. At least he should at Target Field. Then it's a matter of who gets that call for the National League. Wainwright or Hudson or Greinke as Eric Young Jr. breaks his bat, but breaks it with a single. Take that. 2-out single for Eric Young Jr. We'll get back to the top of the order with Granderson.
Well, you like to see a little 2-out lightning here. You know, Granderson's got the power to hit it out of the ballpark, but he got speed on first. Try to manufacture a 2-out run here against Wacha.
Curtis is 0 for 2. He struck out in the 1st inning, grounded out to first in the 3rd.
One issue. Wacha has a pretty good move, and Molina's throwing 43% of the runners out at second base.
Quite the chess game here. Young is 17 for 18 on steals. Cardinals have only picked off 1 runner off base all year. Wacha's the guy that did it. Granderson down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Young speeding to 3rd. Jay has it quickly in, and that'll prevent Eric Young Jr. from scoring. But it's a 2-out double for Curtis Granderson, and 2nd and 3rd, and a chance for Daniel Murphy.
Well, great hitting here by Granderson. Gets a fastball away, lines it down the right field line, and an equally good play from John Jay. That ball scooted when it hit the ground, and it almost scooted past him. And with the great speed of Young, of course he's going to score if that gets past Jay. He kept it in front of him, got it in quickly, and with 2 outs gives his pitcher a chance to get out of the inning.
And now it's on Daniel Murphy. 0 for 2 tonight. Mets will take anything they can get with runners in scoring position. Coming in, batting just .224 as a team in these spots, which is 26th in baseball, by the way. 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Home plate umpire James Hoy called that Murph went through. Tried to hold it up but could not. Good umpire James Hoy.
Getting the plate tonight. We had John Tumpain getting it last night. Minor leaguer filling in for John Hirschbeck, who's on vacation. 1-1 to Daniel Murphy here.
3 consecutive changeups to Murphy in this at bat. Interesting, the pitch that Walker goes to when he's in trouble. He's got a couple things he can do. He can bottom that changeup in the dirt. He can also throw a high fastball and try to get Murphy here.
It'll be a 1-2.
Molina gets all the way out there, and you know he's like imploring his pitcher. That is not a good pitch when you have 2 strikes. Look at that. He's making sure that he kind of pulls his neck, makes a better pitch than that with 2 strikes.
And Murphy gets jammed. Molina couldn't find it at first, racing back, and it's in the seats anyway.
What I said before the game. Fastball in, ties up Murphy. Molina knows what outs. He identifies those at bats that are just so important for his ball club, and works along with his pitcher to try to get that young 22-year-old through these tough times. 4 changeups, a fastball inside.
Mets looking to get out in front. 1-2.
Better change up there. Nice job by Murph. Not swinging at that pitch.
Eric Young Jr. saw on third with a 2-out single. Then Granderson with a 2-out double. Now it's up to Murphy. 1-1 game here in the 5th with 2 down.
You notice that Molina made the call for the pitch. There was some shaking off back and forth from Walker to Molina. Molina didn't like it because he feels that his pitcher probably is not 100% behind the pitch that he put down. So they're going to talk about it. What do you want to throw here? But this is what we should throw, because this is my history with Daniel Murphy. So it's he does most of the speaking, Molina, when he goes out there.
Is there any other catcher in the league that does anything like this?
No, there isn't. Because you know the trust factor there. Like I said, he's like having another manager on the field.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat to Murphy. This is away, and the count goes full. Even though Wright hit the home run, is he still being careful with Murphy here?
I would take my shot against Murph after a guy's hit a home run off him.
Payoff pitch. He got him. They'll throw it down to first, complete the play, but Waka gets a huge strikeout and looks back at his catcher and pumps his fist. Big time stuff from Waka there. Mets leave a pair. We're still tied at 1. Here in the 5th. Good ball game. 1-1 Mets and Cardinals. David Wright a home run. Yadier Molina a home run. And Daniel Descalso will lead it off. He's got one of the 3 Cardinal hits against Nice, and that one comes in and gets him. Hit by pitch. Descalso a leadoff runner on for St. Louis. So that'll bring up Waka and a bunting situation here.
Isn't this baseball at its finest? You know, you have an opportunity, it doesn't work out, and the other team comes right back at you.
The 4th hit batter that Nice has had over the last 3 games. And I'm curious, is that sometimes an okay thing with him pitching inside?
I think it's an okay thing. It's certainly not on purpose. You don't want to put the leadoff guy on. But yeah, I think that he tends to become so strike oriented that you'll see him give up a lot of hits that he doesn't have to. As you see the defense here, Tejada is close to second. Murphy shading, of course, to get over to first base, and David way in.
Squaring back to Nice. He's got to play. No, we'll take it over at first. Sacrifice by Waka 1-4. And then a move to Descalso to second.
You know, John had a shot if he threw it right away, but it would have been a real chancy situation. See, he's got a chance if he fires a strike, and it's got to be perfect. But in that situation as a pitcher, because your back is to the runner, you're relying on the catcher, and he's either saying 2-2-2 or 1-1-1.
Well, back to the top of the order for Peter Borges now. Came over to St. Louis in the trade for David Freese, and has been relegated for the most part to the bench, especially of late because John Jay has simply been a lot better in center field. Tonight they're both playing just to get another righty bat in there against Nice.
He's a fantastic defensive player, tremendous speed, hasn't proven in the big leagues that he can hit enough so far.
Right. 0-1. And down he goes. Rucker will complete the play. Borges retired. Second strikeout for Nice. And there's 2 away.
Well, we were just watching Molina work with Waka, but what a nice job of both Rucker and Nice in that situation. 2 fastballs down for strike and then bounced a curveball intentionally to get him to try to swing at a ball, and he did.
Now it's John Jay. He's got 1 for 2 against Nice. Had a single in the first inning and was stranded on the bases. He is the best lefty hitter against lefty pitchers in the league this year. And he smokes one. That's a fair ball, and it gets by Duda, and the Cardinals take the lead. Meanwhile, Jay is motoring around second. He's going to try for 3, and he's going to get there easily. RBI triple for John Jay, and it's 2-1 St. Louis.
Well, 2-out hitting and 2-out RBIs are just so important. Curveball first pitch, hits a ground ball that eludes Lucas Duda, and by the time Bobby Abreu can get over to retrieve that baseball, John Jay with that good speed, a couple looks over his right shoulder, and a stand-up triple. Well, the sliding triple.
Interesting, right? Early in the game, we see Alan Craig take away the same exact hit from Danny Murphy, playing more towards the line. There, triple that cost the Mets the lead right now. Now it's Matt Holliday inside for ball 1. Holliday 0 for 2, flew out to center, and then lined out to second. Rocco's going to enjoy the lead when he gets back out on the mound. Sometimes, you never know. It's kind of like the Mets. All you heard about the scouts was, Matt Harvey's a middle of the rotation guy. But he turns out to be one of the top 5 pitchers in the game, right? Last year. Well, Matt Holliday, highest he ever hit in the minor leagues was 276. He hasn't hit below 290 in 10 years. So sometimes I guess you get to this level and you're just better.
Well, he's a free swinger, so maybe in the minor leagues he faced a lot of pitchers who didn't have great control. That's one. Second, he is an incredibly hard worker, a guy that, we talked about the late Tony Gwynn yesterday. He's a guy that's pouring over tapes. He's a guy that's hitting off the tee. An incredibly hard worker at his sport and his craft.
And he punches one just where Jay's ball went. Jay will score. It's an RBI double for Matt Holliday, and they get 2 big 2-out runs.
Well, when you're facing Matt Holliday, he's got some decent numbers against Jonathan, so he's trying to be careful. Good strike on the inside corner. Another one that just missed. He gets the foul ball and then did not locate that ball down and away. Instead, it was up just enough that Holliday could handle it. And what's great about that, and we've seen this with the Cardinals, every time the Mets play them here, 2 out, runners in scoring position, they have no problem trying to hit the ball the other way. And that's a great way to increase your average with runners in scoring position.
So the Cardinals team, which was historic runners in scoring position last year at a 330 clip, came in to this series and they were at the bottom of the league runners in scoring position. Last night they were 6 of 9. Tonight 2 for 2.
You just knew that they were at some point going to start to get going. They have too many good hitters in their lineup.
Make that 2 for 3 because Borges struck out. Now it's Craig. Takes inside, ball 1.
I mean, that 330 was historically, I never thought a team would have that kind of number with runners in scoring position. Averaging a run less a game this year, though, and that's going to have to change. And a lot of it is the home runs. They lost Beltran.
It's odd that they're so low in the home runs because, they lost Beltran. They're hoping Peralta would give him a punch, and he has. He's got 10 home runs, but they're not getting from anywhere else. Holiday's headed down here home run wise. Adams just started to hit them this past weekend.
This is a big ballpark, and as it heats up here, which it will, the ball will start traveling a little more.
Jonathan Neese trying to stop the bleeding. Cardinals with 2 runs in to break a 1-all tie with 2 outs, and now 1-1 to Allen Craig. Matt Adams taking a seat tonight with Mike Matheny trying to get all the right-handed bats in there. Even so, that was interesting just because Adams came back from the DL and has been on fire. 4 games he's played. One and 2 to Craig. Coming and down he goes. 3rd strikeout for Jonathan Neese as Craig is retired. But the Cardinals with 2 big 2-out RBI hits from Jay and Holliday. They're up 3-1. and then the lights of the ballpark, and warm night in St. Louis, but good night for baseball and good game tonight. Cardinals getting a couple big runs off Jonathan Neese. Time for our AT&T fan photo of the game. That's great. Chuck the Ripper with the Raleigh Fingers mustache.
Very nice.
That's one of the better ones we've had. As David Wright, who's got a solo home run in this game, his first road home run of the year, leads it off for the Mets. Got a piece of that one. It's 1-1. This Wright's 5th home run on the season. As we start the 6th, couple balls down the right field line, and Wright smokes one left center field, and that's going to get down. Holiday gets by him. Wright's going to go on for 2. And David Wright now has 3 hits in his last 4 at bats, and maybe things starting to turn around.
Well, we talked about it before the game. He was having trouble coloring that ball away. First pitch curveball, that's what he hit out for a home run. Fastball by him, and then that ball down and away is covered by David Wright. Not a good defensive play there by Holiday.
See how they scored if they give him a double. I think he probably would have had a double there. He was running hard, but we'll see. Could give it a single and an error if they so choose. And so now it's Abreu. They do give Wright the double. First pitch swinging for Abreu. Mets came into this game with the fewest extra base hits in the game, 172. Well, they've got 4 of them tonight. For Anderson, Wright due to doubles, and Wright also has a home run.
Baseball's a crazy game, right? Yesterday, David looked lost at the plate. He looked spot on tonight.
Now the Mets trying to get those 2 runs right back. It's a lot of strikeouts in 9 innings, Ron.
Yes, it is.
He's got 6 tonight. He struck out 10 Mets in that start at Citi Field in April. The 1-1. And Abreu covers this one to right, foul.
Abreu was just a little quick on that changeup from Walker. But one thing we've seen from Bobby is that most older hitters lose a little bat speed, especially inside. He has not. And that has been the real surprising thing for me, is that he handles that pitch in.
Walker's 1-2 coming, and Abreu goes to left, but Holiday is there. And that's the first out. Let's check in with Michelle Yu. She's in the studio for a game break, brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Well, the Phillies, Michelle, trying to take the first 2 games of that series in Atlanta. So how about that? Does anybody want to be in first place in the NL East at all? Or?
Well, you got to be happy, though, if you're not playing your best baseball, because I said it before, especially in the NL East, if you are 500 and on August 31st, you'll have some important September games. You'll be in some kind of race.
That's the thing right now, is Lucas Duda is the hitter, and he takes strike 1. I mean, you watch the Mets product on the field as it is right now. So they're not a playoff team, right? But they're 8 games under 500, which is the lowest they've been all year. Yet they're only 5.5 games out. If they could somehow find a way to play a little bit better, they are well in the race. Inside to Duda, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Get another double. That looks like a pretty good place to be. Ballpark Village right across the street. Trust us, you can see the field perfectly from there. That's the view. I didn't say it was close. I just said you could see.
Well, it was interesting. The Cardinals in the prior inning, Scalzo gets hit by a pitch. He sacrificed the second with 1 out. Well, that's where the Mets are here with Wright. Can they muster some offense here and come right back at the Cardinals against Walker?
1-2 to Duda. These are the situations that they've just got to have. I mean, and Duda has actually been their best hitter with runners in scoring position this year. Craig is literally right on the line.
But he's also back all the way, Kevin, just 1 step in front of the grass, giving him a little more time. Get as deep as you can. Seen it time and time again, haven't we? When Walker gets into trouble, he goes to that changeup. Every pitcher has that one pitch that they feel safe about using in key situations. The changeup is that pitch for Walker.
He's thrown it about 20% of the time this year, so it is a great pitch for him. Wright doubled to lead off the inning. Still there with 1 down. 2-2 to Duda. Curveballs upstairs. Anthony Record would be next. Payoff pitch. Duda holds his swing. He did not go, and it's ball 4. And the second walk issued by Waka, and now the tying runs for the Mets on base with Record coming up.
Again, back to the 3-2 changeup for Waka. This time Duda's not swinging. Good at bat for Lucas.
So now it's Recker's turn here. Anthony drew a walk his first at bat and then a strikeout victim in the 4th. And Recker swings to the first pitch and drives it deep to center. Borges retreats back under it, makes the catch. Wright's going to tag and go to third, but that's the second out. And Duda hangs at first, and so now the Mets will pin their hopes on Ruben Tejada. Well, Jonathan Neese allowed 2 2-out runs to the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th. He had been pitching a gem. And now when Wright leads off with a double, you just got to find a way to capitalize. That's the bottom line. You can't leave that run on there and expect to win games.
And with Neese in the 8th slot, Decker's on in the hole.
Waka blew fastballs by Tejada his last at bat for the strikeout. Same recipe here. It is fouled straight back.
It's almost like as a pitcher against Tejada, you're saying to yourself, well, you haven't proven you can catch up to it yet, so here it comes.
Oh-1 to Ruben, and again, not even close. 94 by Tejada, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
Walker just has that angle, throws straight over the top. The ball looks like it's going to be low, but it stays true in that strike zone.
Waka looking to get out of a jam here. Runners at the corners for the Mets. 2 down in the 6th. 3-1 St. Louis. It's an 0-2. All fastballs to Tejada. That one 95, but high and away. Waka's numbers are tremendous. He just hasn't gotten any run support whatsoever. It's a 1-2. And he got him. That time he did take something off, and Tejada fooled, and down he goes. 7 strikeouts from Michael Wacha. And the Mets squander another opportunity. Bottom 6 we go. It's 3-1 Cardinals. It's 3-1, they lead it. Let's go down and check in with Steve Gillis.
Well, we see Yadier Molina, the St. Louis catcher, leading off, and the Mets catcher of the future may very well be the catcher of the present again rather soon. We all know that Travis d'Arnaud has been tearing the cover off the ball since being sent down to AAA Las Vegas. He's actually eligible to rejoin the big club tomorrow. Now, that's not going to happen, but assistant GM John Recco, he is with the team here in St. Louis, and I spoke to him before the game today. Here's what the organization's thinking as we see Molina fly out to center field, make the first out of the inning. But the organization, while it's too soon right now to talk about recalling Travis d'Arnaud, that may not be the case in a couple of days. A few more of these great nights, and then what's going to happen is the next step is possible. And what that next step is Sandy Alderson and Terry Collins giving a call to Wally Backman in AAA and getting a report. What the Mets want to know is, why is Travis d'Arnaud hitting this well? Is it just because of the PCL, which is a notoriously big hitters league? Is it because of the pitching over there, or is it because of something that Travis d'Arnaud is doing? If the reports are what the Mets hope they are, you could see Travis d'Arnaud up with the club, I would say probably sometime in the middle of next week, if not even potentially this upcoming weekend. More probably middle of next week if everything stays the same, but it could be getting close for d'Arnaud.
Well, it's really interesting because, Steve, what you're talking about, and then what Terry told us before the game, Ron, about how he has a major league scout down there who's not as familiar with d'Arnaud to give it, kind of an independent opinion on not what he's doing there, but overall, is he major league ready? Does his swing look good? How do those opinions combine to form when he'll be back?
Well, I think the thing is, Kevin, is let's look at the player. This is a vital player for the Mets. He's a guy that they're counting on to be their catcher for the next half dozen years and perform at a high level. So it took a lot of thought to send him down.
Johnny Peralta drills one to right center. It's deep. Granderson on the run, not going to get it. One hop over the wall. Ground rule double for Peralta, his 18th of the year, which leads the team.
A nice hitting by Peralta there on that fastball up. Just a little mistake. Tried to go in, did not get it in, did Jonathan. They spent a lot of time thinking about sending him down. They weren't sure if they wanted to. When they decided, they pulled the trigger. They got to give at least that much thought of when they bring him up, because they want to make sure that is the last time they ever have to send him down again as Sam Freeman gets loose for the St. Louis Cardinals. And what I'm saying is that, and I think that's why Terry has an independent person going there. You'll use, of course, manager Wally Backman. You know, George Greer has been down there. Has he been working with Travis? Have they changed anything? Is that why he's having these great results? So it'll be a great collaborative effort where everyone trying to get on the same page and discussing this kid's future, which is vital for the organization.
You use the word vital, and I think it's an apropos word, because here's why. There's a strike to Ellis, and he's trying to keep Peralta there with a 2-run Cardinal lead already in the home sixth. Mets won't say this. They were counting on d'Arnaud to hit this year. They weren't just counting on, hey, this is your welcome to the big leagues. Come on and do a good job with the staff. If you hit 220, so what? No. They needed him to hit 280 and to hit 15 home runs as Ellis tags one to left. Eric Young Jr. on his horse gets back and makes the catch. So Peralta back to second. Ellis gave it a ride, but that's the second out.
Ron, you know, you talk about the Mets' real thought process and trying to figure out if it was right to send Travis d'Arnaud down. And something else Rico told me is just look at the other team here in the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that has a young player in Colton Wong who's also going through some similar struggles. But what he said about Colton Wong is that around him, the Cardinals hitters, they're hitting, and so he's kind of able to work through that on the big league level. But part of the reason why the Mets decided to send Travis d'Arnaud down is that the Mets did team weren't hitting, and they decided that there was not the right environment for Travis d'Arnaud to work through things up here on the big league level.
Well, d'Arnaud is also a catcher. I mean, it's a totally different ballgame what's on his plate in terms of that. And Wong did go down. They signed Ellis. That's the other thing. They have Ellis. They signed him as that veteran guy, as that fallback guy. The Mets don't have that guy at catcher.
You know, if other players had been producing like they should, you might have been able to live with Travis d'Arnaud hitting around the 200 mark. But certainly the offense at a premium. You had to make the move and get him right.
Here is Descalso now with Nice. And he takes strike one. Nice, this will be it for him because he leads off the inning in the seventh, and the Mets need some offense. They're trying to finish up and keep it 3-1. Descalso's got 1 for 1, a single hit by pitch, and he scored the go-ahead run. Nice has been so economical with his pitches of late. He's only pitched number 74 here in the 6th inning. Surprised if he hits, though, with the Mets down by 2. And Descalso jam. Murphy kind of squibs around, drops it. Duda's nowhere near the bag. What in the world happened there? He still would have had him out if Duda was on the bag.
What happened on this pitch? Descalso gets jammed, so he hits a knuckleball out to Murphy that eludes him. Good hustle by Murph to get back on it, but what happened to Lucas Duda, he became just a guy who was watching the play and not thinking that Murph would throw it back to first base. Became a spectator. That's what happened to Lucas.
That's brutal. That's got to be the end of the inning there. I mean, you can't make a play like that.
Well, extra outs to good ball clubs, usually not a good recipe.
Oh, that's an error in the books on Daniel Murphy. But that should go on Lucas Duda. It doesn't, but that's how it should go. And so, with that, runners on the corners, and the Cardinals going to go a pinch hitter. It's going to be Colton Wong. Now a huge batter in this ball game with Wong, who Steve was just talking about, coming up in this spot. 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. But at 3-1 on the way Waka's pitched, can't allow any more.
Well, you can see this is the defense, okay? So it's that knuckleball to Murphy. But look at Duda. He's just spectating. He thought that Murphy was going to make the play instead of getting to first base. Playing a spectator cost the Mets.
1-0 count, and Wong to left, and Young giving chase, and it's foul.
Well, Wong gets jammed here, almost catches the person who was down the third base line.
1-2.
There's a guy who's struggling, hitting 200 points higher with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
And a 1-2 hole here. This would have liked that one, but 2-2 to Wong. 3-1 Cardinals in the home 6th. Inning prolonged by the error. Peralta on third, Descalso off first. The pitch, and Wong hits a bullet to right. That'll give the Cardinals another run. Descalso goes to third, and the Cardinals have another 2-out RBI hit. That's been the story tonight. 3 of their 4 runs have come with 2 outs.
When you give good teams extra outs, you're almost asking for this to happen. And Wong takes a good at bat against Jonathan Neese and gets another hit with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Fastball right down the middle. Good swing by Wong. And another run for the Cardinals.
Well, all you got to do is look at the last inning for a team that's struggling, right? In the top of the 6th, after the Cardinals scored 2 runs with 2 outs on Neese, David Wright gets a leadoff double. Doesn't move, doesn't come in to score. So they waste the opportunity. Now you come in after the Peralta double, you get 2 outs, and you get a little flutter ball to second base that Murphy has a hard time with, but recovered, threw to first base, and Duda didn't pay attention, and now you got another run. It's just, can't have that when you're not going well. It's the bottom line. And now it's a 3-run deficit, and also Cardinals with 4 runs. Although right now still 3 earned runs, because Jonathan Neese's streak of 17 straight games with 3 earned runs or less.
You know, it's interesting. Matheny had a choice there to kind of push for that extra run, or maybe let Walker go deeper into the game. He chose the offense and rewarded.
Yeah, he did. It's Borges now down low, and it's 2-0. That's Descalso, reached on the air, and then Wong over at first, who can fly. Borges 0 for 3, though. There goes Wong. Pitches a good one to throw. Rector down to second, and Murphy doesn't apply the tag. They throw to third instead, and everybody's safe. Stolen base for Colton Wong.
Well, Rector is saying, why didn't you apply the tag? But what happened to Murphy is that it was a good fake by Descalso. So instead of putting the tag down, he went for third base, and Descalso got in easily. So that really was a case of Descalso protecting the runner Wong by giving the good fake. It took Murphy off the play, and instead of applying the tag, which I think they had a chance at tagging him out, instead Descalso gets Murphy to throw over to third.
You know, the other thing is, if he made the tag, the inning's over. Yeah. But that's it too. But a heck of a play by Descalso, and now 2 in scoring position. 2-1 to Borges.
That's a set play, Kevin, for the guy in third base to fake, to try to get the second baseman to come off. If he applies a tag, he's out at second base easily.
The inning's over.
But that's a set play. Descalso knew that it wasn't a big jump. He took a big chance coming off to make sure Murph made a play on him.
This is what you were talking about.
So he sees the throw go down. He gives that good fake, and he got back easily.
Smart. It worked. Now a chance for Borges. 2-2 against Neese here. Curveball left side. Tejada on the back end. Forget it. The way Borges runs, no shot. Infield single RBI. Cardinals tack on another.
I mean, how do you explain it? Just a simple little play of first and third, steals second base when he could have been out. Now just a simple infield ground ball. Borges with great speed. No play for Tejada.
And so the Cardinals have added 2 unearned runs in the inning, which should have been over. And now you're getting to the heart of the order with 2 down. And Neese still in there. And it's John Jay, who's had another big night. 2 for 3 with an RBI triple his last time up against Neese. And Jay to short. This should finally do it. The hot of the first and the inning is over. But the Mets make a couple of big mistakes, and it allows the Cardinals to extend their lead. It's now 5-1 through 6 in St. Louis. To football, partnering with the New York Jets to help local youth football leagues with equipment donations, clinics, and Jets game experiences. The deadline for applications is next Friday, June 27th. If you know a local youth football league in need, apply today at facebook.com/SNY. So Michael Wacha's day is done. 6 innings in line for his 5th win, and now it's the lefty out of the pen.
Well, lots of zeros and ones up there for Sam Freeman. He's been back and forth from Memphis for the last couple of seasons. Outstanding fastball, good curveball.
And Chris Young will be the pinch hitter for Jonathan Neese in the 8-hole. Young pinch hit last night's game and got an RBI single out of it, so looking to get the Mets started. What a disaster that last half inning was for the Mets. 3-1 game. Inning should have been over. They make a couple mistakes on one play with Murphy dropping the ball and then Luka not tagging the base, and then a throw down to second base on Wong trying to steal, and Murphy doesn't bother to apply the tag which should have ended the inning. Descalso helped with a nice fake, and all of a sudden 2 unearned runs, and now all of a sudden 4 runs against this Cardinal bullpen, which is pretty tough to ask.
Well, those are one of those plays, Kevin, that as an infielder you have to be thinking about it before it happens, and just know that if the throw comes down and we got a chance to get Wong, I'm going to take the out. If Descalso fakes, that's fine. He doesn't have that great a speed that if he decides to go out of the corner of my eye, then I can throw home and get him. But you have to know the speed of the runners on the bases. You have to know the speed of the throw coming from Rector, and you've got to know that Wong is not there, and it would have been the 3rd out at the inning. Sounds easy,
sure,
but you have to think about that play before it happens.
Easy for us to say, but still, I mean, those are the types of things you just can't do as Young with a big swing and miss. So last night we were telling you a lot about the Royals and how that AL Central is so tight. The Royals were at 1.7 games back, a half game back now. Guess what? They're going to be in first place after tonight. They are blowing out Detroit again, 11-4. That game in the bottom of the 8th. They roughed up as Young goes down on strikes. So Freeman comes on in, gets Young for his first strikeout. So they rough up Justin Verlander last night. You want to know what they did to Max Scherzer tonight?
What's the line? Line of the day?
4 innings, 10 hits, 10 runs on Scherzer. 10 runs.
They're locked in. They're just starting to get that production from all those good young everyday players that really had a difficult April and May.
It's really impressive what they're doing right now. They're going to be in first place. This offense has come to life. Meanwhile, Mets offense has not come to life, as it's Eric Young Jr. the batter. There's the AL Central. That's going to change. The Royals are going to be in first place.
And I think that the Kansas City Royals were a pretty sexy pick for everyone this offseason as you looked up and down their lineup at their pitching, and especially their good young bullpen.
At one point, though, Ned Yost's job was being talked about, the way things were going. I mean, they were one of the worst, if not the worst, offensive team. They were not hitting home runs. They were not getting clutch hits at all. But now they are, as they just smoked the top two pitchers in Detroit's rotation the last two nights.
Sometimes the best moves are the ones you don't make.
There you go. Young Jr., the 2-1 count. He's 1 for 2 with a single. It's Peralta, and there's 2 away for Freeman. You know, I told you Tanaka before. His outing, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 run. The Yankees are up 3-1. Tanaka's had 5 starts of 10 strikeouts or more. His ERA stands at 1.99. Back to the top of the order, it's Curtis Granderson, who's got a double tonight. He's reached base in his last 26 starts, has Curtis. But he was stranded on the base pass. Freeman starts him off with strike 1.
Are you not allowed in the bullpen for St. Louis if you don't throw 95 plus? I mean, it's amazing. They just bring up arm after arm. This young man Freeman replaced Kevin Seagrass.
Anderson foul.
And he comes in throwing 95 with a hammer.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Oh, and 2 to Granderson. Freeman looking for a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th, and Granderson pops it up nearly as high as the arch. Jay waits patiently, puts it away, inning over. 1-2-3 they go for Freeman, and the Mets are down to the 7th. Stand up and stretch from Busch Stadium. 5-1 Cards. Back to the early 1900s, the home of Sportsman Park. St. Louis Cardinals, the St. Louis Browns, and that was before Busch Stadium 1, 2, and 3.
That's right.
And I guess this is taking home plate.
Yes, exactly, for posterity's sake.
How about the KMOX helicopter in that shot? That's pretty awesome.
You know what was interesting about the ballpark there? Did you see the state of the field? You know, I know you are a seasoned groundskeeper now because you're out there raking the thing. But you know, today's game, the fields are just so nice, and they bring the netting and drag the field every 3 innings. But in those days, the fields, I mean, they look like they had potholes in them.
That, by the way, you like the Cardinal water?
Oh, yeah.
You get Cardinal water up here. It's pretty high end.
Everything is Cardinals here.
So. That field looked like Memorial Park, where I played Little League in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
With the big hole in front of the rubber?
Yeah, I mean, I like Memorial Park, don't get me wrong.
I
but
hear you.
You get the idea. It's unbelievable, right?
Yep.
As I found out on the grounds crew for Bill Deacon last week, there's nary a pebble out there. The field conditions have changed just a little bit.
Yours was Memorial Park. Mine was Wendell Field. Same deal.
Yeah, very nice. Went back there recently, and the park still looks the same, by the way.
Interesting. Dice K is supposed to pitch on Friday, start a game against the Miami Marlins, and they're using him in this game where they're losing by 4 runs.
Yeah, it's curious, that's for sure. Matsuzaka, of course, as Holiday greets him with that nice little rocket to the left field wall. Matt Holliday is going to cruise on in for his second double of the game. I think Matt Holliday is out of his slump.
Well, he's a good breaking ball hitter. He has that high leg kick, but he's able to stay back. And that breaking ball, even though a lot was taken off it by Dice K, still kept that bat back and hit a line drive.
Well, Matsuzaka got the start Sunday against San Diego, but was so sick he made it through the first inning somehow, and then that was it. And he is going to start Friday. Terry Collins confirmed that, but still getting an inning of work today. At least he feels better. I guess now you just hope this inning doesn't throw too many pitches for him. Mets have a 4-game series in Miami after this, as Alan Craig is your hitter. 0 for 3 tonight. And it's upstairs for ball 1. In fact, in that series, the Mets will face lefty Andrew Heaney, who's the Marlins' top prospect on Thursday. They made a whole bunch of changes. They got rid of Randy Wolf and Kevin Slowey. They bring up Heaney. Jacob Turner's to the bullpen now for Miami. So got a lot going on. But what were you saying earlier? How there's all these young arms around the game, not just with the Mets?
That's right, everywhere.
See it this weekend in Miami. 1-0, and it's 1-1.
I'll tell you, you have to say something about the Marlins. Whether you like it or don't, they make moves, don't they? Lots of them.
They do. They do definitely make moves. I don't think there's any question about that. Meanwhile, Nice's day is done today. Jonathan went 6 innings, 8 hits. He allowed 5 runs, but only 3 of them earned. Struck out 3, walked 1, 85 pitches. And I would say upset would be one way to describe it when he came off the mound, the way that last inning of his went with the defense behind him. 1-2 to Alan Craig.
See, Craig's trying to shoot that ball to the right side, but a little late on that fastball from Dice K. Watch his swing. All intended to hit that ball to the right side.
One, 2, and strike 3. Matsuzaka sends Craig back to the bench. His first strikeout and the first out of the 7th.
Well, Molina in this game got off to a great start. Fastball, he gets inside, hits it over the fence in left field, started with a home run, and then Johnson Nice made some adjustments later. Kept the ball away from him to get a strikeout, and then later in the 6th, got the ball inside. One he didn't do in the 2nd inning, and gets a simple fly ball to center field in the frustration from Molina.
For Molina, it was his 6th home run of the year, his first ever regular season home run against the Mets. Yeah, he's had another one in the postseason. Josh Edgens getting warm for the Mets. Heard of this guy Mike Trout?
Yeah, I heard about him.
All right, well, he's got 2 home runs and a double and 4 RBIs tonight. The Angels are all over Cleveland 9-3. Do that every night, or?
It seems like it, right?
Pretty unbelievable. 16 home runs now for Trout. And that one's in the dirt. That's going to allow the runner Holiday to go on down to third. Wild pitch.
Well, not close here, and Record could not get out in front of it. Hits the flex again off his glove, and Karam's too far away. You know, when I look at, and I still read the newspaper, I don't always read it online or physically get the newspaper.
Right.
Whenever I look at the box scores, Trout is one guy. I find his name. What did he do last night?
Guy's amazing. Got 16 home runs. He's been on a home run tear of late. One and one to Molina, who fights it all.
You know, because of where he hits in the lineup now, I think he's transformed himself as a player a little bit. You know, Kevin, he was all about stolen bases, and I think he's come back from that a little bit, stealing less and hitting the ball at the ballpark more. More of a power game.
Finally got some healthy bodies behind him with Pujols and Hamilton. That helps. Infield coming in, try to prevent any further runs here. Molina's a very good two-strike hitter, 5th best in the National League, as a matter of fact. It's upstairs 2-2.
Molina does not leave the box, but because Daisuke takes so long in between pitches, he just stays there, kind of waggles his bat back and forth, waiting for Daisuke and Record to get on the same page.
2-2. And count goes full.
Well, I'm just so happy that the Avocados are back in season. I've been waiting for that, Kevin. Huge in my home. Some people have Cinco de Mayo parties. I have avocado season is back.
You know, I got news for you. When you go to the supermarket, everything's in season for me.
That's right.
I really would not know what's in season and what's not. If it's on the shelf, it's in season.
That's right.
3-2 to Molina as Daisuke delivers and foul straight back.
Good pitch there from Daisuke again. Getting inside just enough on Molina.
Peralta is next. Got a Livan Hernandez quality in the box. You know that Livan had on the mound. He's so chill. 3-2. Hangs in there. He's just staying in, swinging with one hand. It's like Levo blowing a bubble when he's on the mound, throwing a 3-2 curve.
And this was a pitcher's pitch. Daisuke had that right on the outside corner.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. Fouls it off. Mets have a game tomorrow. Coverage at 1 o'clock Eastern time. It's Cologne and Lynn. Good pitching matchups in this series. Here's the good news for the Mets tonight. David Wright has a home run. That's all I got for you.
Home run and a double.
5-1 St. Louis with Molina up, runner on third, one down, the payoff pitch, and he got him. High heat. And Molina not thrilled. Back-to-back strikeouts for Matt Suzaka.
Well, again, nice job by Daisuke going inside. Up and in is the Achilles heel for Molina there with 2 strikes.
That's up to Peralta, who's driven in 27 on the year. He's got 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored tonight. Also walked back in the 4th. Taking all the way for strike 1. Cardinals out of their 5 runs. Molina's got a solo home run. The other 4 came with 2 outs. Now scored 124 2-out runs. That's the 4th best in baseball. So maybe, Ronnie, they're not hitting as well with runners in scoring position as they did last year, but they're still finding a way to score them in those clutch spots. It's in the dirt. Record gets in front of it. Astros trying to come back on the Nationals tonight. Nationals had a 6-1 lead. It's now 6-5 in Washington. Phillies still breeding Braves in the NL East. 1-1 the count to Peralta. Down to third, right on the backhand and on target. Nice play by David Wright. His second good play at third base tonight. So Matsuzaka with a scoreless 7th. Cardinals in the lead. Files on Blake Taylor, the pitching prospect acquired from Pittsburgh in the Ike Davis trade, as well as new Mets draft picks on Mets blog presented by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Here is Daniel Murphy working against Sam Freeman. Second inning of work for Sam Freeman. So Mike Matheny using that pen in length like he did yesterday. Ronnie, you pointed out during the break, Greenwood, the rookie, yesterday was terrific. He went, 3 1/3, and now Freeman in his second inning of work. Sam's 26 years old. He was a 32nd round pick in 2008 by the Cardinals out of Kansas. And started out as an outfielder at North Central Texas Community College. Jason Mott is warming. And so is Familia for the Mets. If Freeman gets through here, may see Mott in the ninth with a 4-run lead instead of Rosenthal. We'll see. 0 for 3 tonight for Murphy. And that on the corner, 3-2. Murphy, jam, Descalso adds room, makes the play, and there's one away. And so it's been a good night for David Wright.
Well, his first at bat, he swung at the first pitch, got jammed. But his next time, I was talking about how he struggled against the breaking ball from the right-hand hitter. Well, certainly not this one from Walker, and hits his first home run on the road this year. And then beautiful hitting on this fastball down and away in the 6th, and hit it past Holiday for a double. So good night at the plate for David Wright.
And especially considering coming in, he had gone 0 for the road as far as home runs are concerned this year. So a lot of good positives for him. But the Mets had some chances, and really you go back to the 6th inning, he led off with a double after the Cardinals got 2 2-out runs against Nice in that bottom of the 5th. Well, Wright led off with a double, and Mets couldn't get him in. And then after that, forget it. They've gone quiet. Box score tonight, Wright with the only run with the home run. Granderson's got a hit. They've got 5 hits. It's not enough to win a game. And they're 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. One and 2 coming from Freeman, and Wright just pokes it to the right side. Freeman gets over to cover. 3-1 in your scorebook, and there are 2 away. Time now to check in. Michelle Yu standing by in the studio. She's got another game break. It's brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. Thanks, Michelle. And the Marlins, they want to be in first place in the National League East, don't they?
Well, they are playing so well at their home ballpark. That has been an all season long.
2 outs for Bobby Abreu. It's outside. So the Mets in this series have a grand total of 10 hits and 3 runs against this Cardinals pitching staff. Speaking of the Marlins, did you happen to see the home run by Giancarlo Stanton last night?
He just makes that ballpark look small, and it's huge.
You ever see anything like it? It was a line drive the opposite field. This one a high fly ball to center, but Board just has a beat on it. It was a line drive to right field. If the wall is 10 feet, the ball was 10 feet 1 inch. Unbelievable. All Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. 5-1 bottom 8. teams have never had a pitcher win a Cy Young. Let's see, San Diego, Tampa, right? What else we got? Reds, Rockies, Marlins. Oh, whoa, wow. Reds, Rockies, Marlins, Rangers.
How about the Reds? I mean,
Reds haven't had
right. You can see the Rockies so hard to pitch in that ballpark. Jerry's Familia coming in.
Yeah.
Show me that thing again. What's it? Reds, Rockies?
Reds, Rockies, Marlins, Rangers.
Rangers. Okay.
At some point, Darvish might change that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Rockies, should have got the Rockies. But and it's probably a dumb question. Who am I missing from San Diego?
Randy Jones. Randy Jones. 25 wins, I believe he had.
There you go. Yep, you're right. I was thinking no hitter, no Cy Young, but that's not true.
No, yeah. No hitter and no cycle.
Yes.
For the San Diego team.
Mark Ellis leads it off for the Cardinals in the 8th inning against Familia here. Daisuke went an inning, and Ellis to center. One down. Daisuke went an inning, allowed a hit, and struck out 2, so he will get set now for his start on Friday. Through 18 pitches, but he's healthy. And Familia facing Daniel Descalso now, who's scored a couple runs tonight. 1 for 2. Reached on an error and scored last inning, and then a hit by pitch in the 5th and scored. So,
you know, Descalso is one of those guys, you never highlight his name when you look at the lineup, but every time he's in there, he seems to do something positive to help the team, and certainly that's the case tonight.
And a good pinch hitter. He's been kind of an everything guy from La Russa's days too. First pitch swinging. 2 down. Now I'll get a chance to see Matt Adams, who will come off and have a pinch hitting appearance here. Matt 1 for 5 with an RBI as a pinch hitter this year. Nice applause because he was on the DL, came off Friday, had 3 straight home runs in each game, and then game-winning RBI last night.
Well, you see the defense against Adams. We saw it in last night's ball game. Murphy is deep as you've ever seen him against any hitter.
Familia, and it's down low to Adams. Remember in San Francisco, Matt Cain came off the disabled list against the Mets and looked vicious. I don't know what's happened since then, but he's looked the complete opposite. Tonight, got rocked again. Allowed 8 runs in 5 innings. There's some good pitchers getting hammered tonight, huh? Adams ropes one, and Rayu lets it skirt right by him. Adams going to go on into second. I thought Abreu could have caught that off the bat, and then it gets by on the boot.
Well, Bobby is playing a very conservative right field. That's a ball that probably should have been caught. He got stuck right in the middle of nowhere's land and didn't know whether to catch it or to block it, and did neither.
All right. So Adams is on base. It's Borges with a chance to add to the Cardinals' lead. Peter had an RBI infield single in the 6th inning, scoring the Cardinals' 5th run on that play. The record will go out in chat.
Interesting chat. I mean, Familia's got 2 pitches, sinker and a slider. I guess maybe going over which sign they're going to use. Familia might have forgotten. Usually relief pitchers always use the same sign. What do I mean by that? One guy will use first sign, one guy will use sign after 2, one will use second sign, but they usually stick to it, at least for the first half. They maybe change it sometimes in the second half.
95 and low to Borges, and it's 1-0. Well, if you look ahead to the 9th, Mets will have 5, 6, and 7. It's Duda, Recker, and Tejada. Recker gets out to block, and it's 2-0. Cardinals are really starting to percolate here. They've won 7 of 8 coming into tonight. They're 3.5 back to the Brewers, who are losing tonight. And their pitching's been good all year long. And you're starting to see some seeds of the offense to come through too the last 5 days or so. (2-0) and it's 3-0. The red hot John Jay on deck. Four-pitch walk to Peter Borges.
Just a game today of mistakes for the Mets. Not a lot of offense. Okay, we've talked about that. Jonathan Neese, not a lot of support. We've talked about that. But, you know, little things in this inning. Abreu letting the ball get by him. Walking Peter Borges on 4 pitches. A guy that's hitting 200. And having to face John Jay. All these little kind of things are things that should not be happening.
Jay is as hot as anybody. I mean, coming in to tonight. Last night he had 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Tonight he's got 2 for 4 with a triple, an RBI, and a run scored. He came into this game batting .371 in June. He's on fire right now and up to extend the Cardinals' lead. He takes a strike. The fastball on the outside corner.
Just kidding.
And it's down low. Phillies did go on and beat the Braves tonight, 5-2. The Nationals hanging on to a 1-run lead. And it's just a logjam atop the NL East. Big cut by Jay, and it's 1-2. In the last 2 years at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals against the NL East are 19-2.
Yeah.
19-2. We're going to make it 20-2 tonight. You saw Adams off of second, Borges off of first, the 1-2, and it's 2-2. Rangers are beating the A's tonight 1-0 in the second, and they sustained a pretty silly injury. Drew Pomeranz, the former Rocky, who had gone to Oakland and really been pitching great, and a subpar start. And what does he do? He punches a wooden chair and breaks his right hand. It's his non-pitching hand, but he's still going to be out, and it's got to kill you if you're Oakland. 2-2, and foul tip is caught by a Recker, and Jay is down on strike. So last hope for the Mets. We go to the 9th. 5-1 St. Louis with Duda leading off.
It's time.
Cardinals looking to take the first 2 games of this series, and Eric Campbell, it's Lucas Duda, is going to come out and hit. Campbell looks like he's getting on deck to hit for Anthony Recker. So it's Duda here to lead it off against Jason Mott, who's good to see him coming back from Tommy John surgery that he went out with May 8th last year.
Yeah, if you're a baseball person, you like to see Mott back. I own a college in New Rochelle. Guy who had 42 saves 2 seasons ago. Did not play, of course, last year. Was injured. So they lost their closer. Still got to the World Series.
Yeah, they did. And Duda cranks one to right and deep and gone. Duda's 9th home run of the year, and it's 5-2 St. Louis.
Just fastball middle of the plate. The one thing I've noticed here from Mott is that his arm angle certainly has dropped down from 2 seasons ago when I talked about him saving 42 games.
There's a strike. Eric Campbell pinch hitting. So Duda's home run makes it 5-2. And Campbell lines one. That's a fair ball down the right field line. Campbell racing around first. And he's going to go in as that ball went into the stands. And Eric Campbell has a double. So the Mets down by 3 with Campbell on second and nobody out.
Fastball away. Nice job by Campbell hitting that ball down the right field line. We've seen him time and time again have a real talent of hitting that ball to right field.
And so now it's Tejada. So all of a sudden, Jason Mott looking for an out. Cardinals lead was 4. Now it's 3. And now with a runner on second base, it's Tejada. And some action going on in St. Louis's bullpen. Mike Matheny out to talk and at least delay. Pat Neshek, who's been unbelievable this year, is warming.
Boy, you got to treat this almost with kid gloves, don't you? If you're Matheny, you have a closer that will save 42 games. You're trying to get him into games and get him back where he can help your ball club. And here you have to take him out after 2 batters.
Wow. That's got to be tough for Jason Mott. He had a stretch recently where he didn't pitch for 8 days. Came back on Sunday and was throwing hard, but here not so good. 2 batters, 2 hits, and the Cardinals are going to the bullpen. Looks like Pat Neshek's going to be summoned. It's called to the pen, brought to you by Verizon. hits to 2 batters, including a home run, and now it's on to Pat Neshek, who comes on in a save situation.
Well, he had some good years in Minnesota. Started his debut was in 2006. You see his numbers this year. Kind of old-fashioned pitcher. Throws submarine. Usually keeps the ball on the ground.
In his 8th year, he has been all-star worthy this year. He's been unbelievable, the 33-year-old in this role. Going for his 2nd career save here. And another one on June 4th at Kansas City. And the Cards 5-2 win. So he's got Tejada. Mets down by 3. With Eric Campbell off second base and Tejada with Den Decker on deck in a pinch hitting role. Right back to Neshek. That's out number 1. And so now the pitcher spot, the 8 hole in the order, and it'll be Matt Den Decker. Den Decker used as a pinch hitter last night, went 0 for 1. Pat Neshek came to St. Louis this year, spent the last 2 years in Oakland. He's been good his whole career. He's got a career whip of 1.07, which is great. This year, it's .6. He's allowing a little more than half a runner on base in inning. It's unbelievable. First pitch swinging Den Decker. 2 outs. Coming up on Geico Sports Night tonight, our buddy Chris Carlin says injury updates from Jets and Giants minicamp. Also, I mean, I can't even finish a sentence. Chris is the best. Flexibility is important. Yoga coming up after post game with Carlin.
Got to turn that heat up, Chris.
Hot yoga?
Yes.
All right. Mets down to their final out. It's Eric Young Jr. He swings at the first pitch, and this should do it. Borges in, and the Mets go down with a whimper here in the 9th. Neshek comes on for his 2nd career save, and the Cardinals have taken the first 2 games of this series 5-2. They win it tonight.
Well, a real sloppy game by the Mets. Jonathan Neese pitched well, a couple of unearned runs, pushed the lead for the Cardinals. Positive for the Mets, a home run in the 9th inning by Duda, and a couple of hits for David Wright, including a home run and a double. But just a lot of good 2-out hitting by Mike Matheny's Cardinals.
That's really it. There's not a lot else to really look at and hang your hat on if you're the Mets tonight. Sloppiness, which cost them with some defensive miscues in that 6th inning. And they lose the first 2 games.